Welcome back to chapter 6 of From Hustle to Harmony. And I don't know how you all are doing out there, but I'm just going to tell you when I'm recording this first week of June, I have my kids out of school for the first day. Big sleepover last night with 4, 5, 7th, now 8th grade girls, a black lab that has been vomiting and severely ill for the last couple of days, up all night. My point being, I am tired. If you're watching this on video, yeah, I'm in a sweatshirt and my hair's pulled back and I'm showing up anyway. Because as you'll see with chapter 6, that's what we do as business owners. You show up and you keep your promises. I actually was just on a call with my brokerage EXP. We have this amazing mastermind. I tell you, I'm in two groups, guys, that most people would pay probably $25,000 to $50,000 a year to be in proximity to these people that I'm in rooms with every week. It's just phenomenal, and I can't be more grateful. But we talked about that. We talked about just showing up regardless of how you feel and taking the emotion out of it. And, you do it because of self-image. And that's what I talked about so much is that if you can't keep the promises to yourself and show up when you say you're going to show up and do the things that you tell yourself or you promise yourself you're going to do, guys, every time you don't do what you say you're going to do, and like you let yourself out of it or you rationalize why you don't need to do it. God, I can't even talk, sorry. Your self-image takes a hit, and a big one. So I want you to start thinking about that. If you're one that keeps promising yourself, maybe you're going to go to the gym every day or 5 times a week and it's just not happening. What about 2 times or 3 times a week? Like, start where you'll succeed. It'll push you a little bit, but if you're going from 0 times a week to working out to 6 times, go for it. I love it. That's fantastic. More power to you. However, if you're not doing it and you find yourself letting yourself down or making excuses or, whatever it is, switch it and just make a goal, maybe 3 times or 4 times, and get those little wins under your belt, because every time, I'm telling you, you'll never outperform your self-image. And if you cannot keep your promises to yourself, or if your self-image keeps taking hits, then that's gonna really hinder your results. And that's why I wrote about in chapter 6. It's treat your business like a business. And it starts like this. So, how do you show up for your business and in your business? What time do you wake up in the morning? And do you schedule breaks, lunch? And when you check your email, what activities are you doing when you're at your highest energy? And are they income producing activities or time wasters? Now, have you done a time study? I have all my elite coaching clients do this in the first week. And what you do is you set an alarm on your phone to go off every hour. And when the alarm goes off, write down what you did the previous hour. Now you will find many time wasters. And the key is to eliminate the wasted time and replace it with income producing activities. So you cannot buy more time. You need to show up day after day, week after week, and month after month, and do the right activity regardless of how you feel. Set your feelings aside and take the emotion out of it. Show up and do what you need to do. Focus on the task at hand. Put your phone on airplane mode or in another room. Shut down all the other tabs on your computer besides the one you're currently using and focus. Post your schedule and goals for your family to see. Ask them to help you by holding you accountable to your schedule. If you have a significant other or kids, make it a fun game. Say something like, if I do X this year, then we get to do Y, or take that trip, or buy that experience you've wanted for years. Teach them how and when to best communicate with you. You know, you set the standard to how people treat you and your business. Tell them when you're on block time and to not interrupt you unless the building's on fire. See, we make so many things an emergency that just aren't. And if you're going to grow a successful business, it's more about what you say no to than what you're saying yes to. Read that again. We make so many things an emergency that just aren't. If you are going to grow a successful business, it's more about what you say no to than what you are saying yes to. Now, if you have a list of 5 things to do and you have your number 1 thing that you know you should do, yet you move on to number 3 and then 5, and maybe you come back to 4, you still haven't done the most important thing on your list, the thing that will be and make the biggest impact. You may feel accomplished, like, yeah, I got stuff done because you checked off 3, 5, and 4. However, this just distracted you from doing the most important tasks that could actually move your business forward. Now look at what you have on your list and do the most important item first before moving on to the next. You know, try 30, 60, or 90-minute time blocks and focus on the task at hand and take breaks in between time blocks and reward yourself. You can also delegate and delete. And what do you need to do? What can you delegate? And what should you delete? Now stop procrastinating. Just get it done. You will feel so much better, I promise. So again, that's do. What do you need to do? Delegate. What can you delegate? And delete. If you don't need to be doing it, delete it. Now, do you show up 100% present, whether you're in your business or personal life? Or do you scatter yourself thin and do a little of this and a little of that with really no intention? You know, if so, I encourage you to really start focusing and showing up in the moment, whether it's in your business or personal life. You know, stop screwing around with your time and attention. And do you have your mission, vision, and values in place? Who do you want to serve and work with? You won't want to work with everyone, and that's fine. Actually, more than fine. Know your values and worth and make decisions from this standard. And for this week, the action step is to take action on the one thing you've been putting off doing and just move it forward. We all have that one thing that may be lingering in the back of our mind, or that you keep moving from checklist to checklist or post-it note to post-it note. And really, if you just sat down and did it, the amount of mind space that would be freed up, I can't tell you, because think about that. The one thing that you just haven't done, how often do you think about it? Or how often do you look at it? The amount of time you've spent on just that one thing being out there and in your mind, you probably could have done it dozens of times over. I know I've had things like that at least. So, and you know, if you're listening to this live, knowing that a lot of kids just got out of school, if you have kids, I think this is also really important. If I go back to the part where you teach people how to treat you and your business, that absolutely goes with clients. You know, if you answer your phone at 10 o'clock at night, they're going to expect you work at 10 o'clock at night. So don't answer your phone if you don't want to work at 10 o'clock at night. And again, that goes around the house. If you're working from home and you have kids around now, or, you know, just different distractions, talk about that. Put hours on your door, or let them know when you need uninterrupted time, because your business, you want to keep it moving forward. And like I said, where you're focusing and showing up, try to show up in your business and work on your business so that later that evening, or when you have time off with your family, you can show up and be 100% present there as well. What I find so many people do is that they, again, just kind of show up a little bit here, show up a little bit there. They're working on their phone. I'm very guilty of that as well with my family. And it's really not that's not fair to them. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but it's just, they want to see you, they want you present. And anyone that knows, if you have a phone in your hand and you're talking to someone, even just having it in your hand, whether you're looking at it or not, or if you have it on the table and it's upside down, you know, that's sending a message, a clear message that they're not as important. So think about that. Think about that when you have your phone out. I try to put mine in my purse or put it away, especially if I'm out with a friend or a colleague or whomever it is, and put it on the back of my chair or leave it in the car. It's just think about it. Just I want to challenge you with that because I know a lot of people, have it out and are always on. And I'm always on. I see all these realtors saying 24/7. I work 24/7. And that's great for some. But if that's not how you want to run your business, you don't have to. I've also seen agents that shut it off at 6, which at the time I was like, whoa, how do you even do that? Like you're going to return calls the next business day? What? So there's many different ways to do this. So think about what works best for you. Try a few different things out. And yeah, let me know how it goes. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are as we move into this season of life, which we call summertime. Busy in real estate, busy with a lot of things going on for the summer. So next week we're going to talk about fall in love with sales. It's something that, again, when I got into real estate, I had done a little bit of sales, but nothing like what I needed to learn. And I learned a lot, failed forward hard. And I'll start it with this and I'll leave you with this just to think about. If you don't fall in love with sales, and if you can't sell someone, you can't help them. So you really have to decide that instead of being salesy or icky or heavy or I don't want to appear this way or this or that, you got to let a lot of that go because I'll tell you right now, it's definitely holding you back. And I look forward to talking more about that next week. In the meantime, if you need anything at all, feel free to reach out. And I'll leave you with just thinking about how to really show up for your business and work in your business. And in the meantime, go sell something and let me know how it goes.